what volume of water would you add to 15 milliliters of a 6.77 molar solution of nitric acid in order to get a 1.5 molar solution? So this is a dilution problem, and we will use our formula for dilution. M1V1 equals M2V2, where M1 and V1 are the initial molarity and volumes, and M2 and V2 are the final molarity and volumes after the solution has been diluted. So I'm going to write out each item up here: M1, V1, M2, and V2. Now, my M1, my initial molarity, let's see, 6.77 molar solution. So M1 equals 6.77 molar concentration. My V1 is 15 milliliters, because it's asking what volume of water would you add to 15 milliliters. So my initial volume must be 15 milliliters. 15 milliliters. Now my final concentration, M2, well, that's 1.5 molar, 1.50 molar. And for my final volume, well, I don't know my final volume. It's unknown, but what I do know is that we start out with 15 milliliters, and then we're going to add some unknown volume. So my V2, I'm going to write 15 plus X, where 15 is what I started with, and then X is what volume of water that I need to add. So X is actually what I'm looking for. So now all I have to do is just plug everything into the equation and do the math to solve the problem. And it's very straightforward. This is the trickiest thing to this problem, figuring this out. Once you get this figured out, then the rest of it is just very straightforward. So M1V1, that's going to be 6.77 times 15 equals M2V2, which is 1.5 times, and my V2 is 15 plus X. There it is. Let me do this as a dot. Let me use the dot notation for multiplication here, so we don't get the X's confused. All right, dot notation here too. So this times that equals this times that, and now we just do the math out. 6.77 times 15. That gives me 101.55 equals 1.5 times 15. 1.5 times 15 is 22.5. Plus, I'm distributing this 1.5 across, so 1.5 times 15 plus 1.5x using the distributive property. And then now we just got to isolate that x. So let's subtract 22.5 from both sides. 101.55 minus 22.5. That gives us 79.05 equals 1.5x. And now I'm going to divide both sides by 1.5 over 1.5. And x equals 79.05 divided by 1.5. And my answer is 52.7. My units are in milliliters. And there we go. I need to add 52.7 milliliters to my initial volume of water in order to get a 1.5 molar concentration.